Thank you for joining the podcast for Beyond the Banter. Before we get started, you need to know some important information. If you need support immediately, please reach out to one of the following organisations. Lifeline on 131114, Beyond Blue on 1300224636, or Men's Line Australia on 1300789978. If your life is in danger, please call 000 immediately.
Beyond the Banter. Beyond the Banter.
Hi, and welcome to Beauty Beyond the Banter. My name's Jasmine, and I will be your host for this podcast. I've been honoured to be able to do this podcast for Beyond the Banter, which obviously Chris and Topher gave me this opportunity. They do a lot for men's mental health and mental health in general, which has given me the ability to be able to do this. As you know, they found me on TikTok, and just that's kind of what we do on there anyway. So I'm very humbled to be asked to lead the female version of Beyond the Banter, which you can see at www.beyondthebanter.org, and also their links for their podcast too, which is on Spotify and YouTube. You'll find on there. A little bit about me. I have struggled with mental health most of my life, from childhood trauma and all that fun stuff. So anything that I say, anyone I speak with, and any advice that I give is purely from life experience. I'm not a mental health professional nor a GP. So it's just as a guidance, and I urge anyone that's not well or feeling a bit down to please go see your doctor or call 13 11 14, which is 13 11 14, which is Lifeline. We will also have links and numbers for other places that you can call for help if you don't have a friend to talk to, and that will be linked after this episode. We also want to remind you that some of the topics that we are going to be talking about can be quite triggering, and please use them numbers if they are. And if you find that an episode might be triggering you, we would suggest that you just turn it off, okay? As much as we want the support and want to help you guys, we also don't want to make situations worse for you. On tonight's episode is our very first guest, and I'm so happy that she can join us. We will be talking about some quite touchy subjects such as infant loss, miscarriage. So please be warned that it is a serious subject that can be quite triggering. And if that is going to be for you, we would suggest that you maybe don't watch this episode. And if so, we wish you well and hope to see you on the next one. But anywho, that's enough from me. Let's get over to our very first guest, Candice. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad.
Thank you so much for joining.
No, that's okay.
No, you're a little bit nervous.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Don't worry so much.
Yep.
Nothing to be nervous about. You know, it's obviously you've gone through a journey, and
Yeah.
I also similar, but this isn't about me. It's about you today. And I guess let's just start off with your story if you want to talk to us about it.
Yeah. Well, I lost Dawn in 2014, in May. It was 2014, due to a hemorrhage, and her, obviously her placenta tore against, and they pretty much took me to the hospital and said they couldn't stop what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we did try to stay on bed rest and stuff like that, and it just didn't work. So then she was born. I was taken to the hospital by myself. Didn't see my husband or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Had her all on my own. Then I was taken to emergency to have another operation because I kept bleeding, because I was bleeding internally. So then they did that, and I woke up maybe 3 or 4 hours in a room at Monash Hospital, and nobody come to see me. I pressed for ages.
Oh my gosh.
For the button
Yep.
for someone to come and see me, because I knew she was born, because I heard her screaming when she was born.
Uh-huh. And
So-
how many weeks? Sorry to interrupt.
24 weeks and 2 days.
Wow.
So she didn't really have she bled internally while I was pregnant too, so she didn't have the the clotting, the part for the blood to clot in her system, so they couldn't control her bleeding. But I knew she was born because I remember her screaming, and I kept pressing the button for someone to come and get me, and nobody did. So then maybe, I know about after 8 hours, someone finally came down from this NICU and, well, from ICU, and come and got me and took me to go and see her. And then my husband was there with my 3 younger kids. So I had Brianna, then there was Melody and Dustin. Brock. Brock was only 8 months old.
Yeah.
So that was a hard thing for them. Brianna's the only one that ever met him.
Yeah.
So I met her, so she's 14 now.
Yeah.
But she's got vivid memories of it. But when they told me what was going on, we were basically told that if we kept her machines going, she'd either not leave the hospital or she'd leave the hospital and be in a wheelchair.
Oh, wow. That's a hard decision.
It is, yeah. So I got to see her for an hour live, so that's what we did. We looked at everything. So I looked at, obviously, her, how much pain she was in.
Yeah, quality of life.
Quality of life. And then I had to look at, obviously, my other children as well. And then what if something bad happens to us?
Yeah, absolutely.
And take that all into account, because if something bad did happen to me and her father, we didn't have anyone else but the kids that could help her.
That's heart-wrenching to have
so,
to make that decision, you know. But I think also it's so brave of you to, you know, not just think about you and what you need, but your child's needs.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, and I think it's probably one of the hardest decisions a parent's ever got to make, you know, is...
it is. It's a gut-wrenching thing that we did, and when we chose to turn her machines off, I didn't want to have a part of it. So I went back to my room because I didn't want to be there when she took her final breath. So I left, and then my parents had my children that were at the hospital. Then my ex-husband, I'm not married with him anymore, they ended up obviously Dawn went with him while they turned the machines off.
Yeah.
And when she was gone, he got the other kids off my parents, and then he left, and then they brought Dawn down to me when she had passed away.
Yeah.
But then I got to sit, you know, give her a bath, watch her, you know, give her a cuddle, sing her songs.
Oh, it's horrible, but it's beautiful at the same time. You know, it's no one can plan for that situation.
No, no. It's a hard thing to process, and because I was left in the hospital, I felt so alone.
So when, unfortunately, Dawn passed, did you have any kind of support system that you were given to deal with that grief and loss, like any organisations that spoke with you and your family, or...?
So I did have Heartfelt and then Bears of Hope. They gave me a bear. I can't remember the little boy's name.
Yep.
And then I obviously got more sent out some for them with Dawn's name on it. I got one of my friends actually linked me in with a Facebook group, which was a group of families that have lost children.
Grieving parents,
Yeah. There was no hospital at the hospital there was no help whatsoever.
So how'd you get in touch with Heartfelt and Bears of Hope?
So Heartfelt was one that did show up to the hospital. That was the only thing. Bears of Hope, I found them after everything happened. When Dawn passed away, because she was so little, I didn't realise there was a company called Australian Angel Gowns.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I went to Pumpkin Patch back that day.
Yeah.
Back in there, and put a little teddy bear dress on her because she was so little.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much support, and that's why I've gone and done the boxes, because I feel there wasn't that support. And in the boxes, we make sure that we have enough information in there for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they can go and check it out, they can send me a message, talk to me.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good on you. I think that's a beautiful idea to give people that support system where potentially it wouldn't be there. You know, I know especially for like smaller hospitals and stuff in rural areas and stuff,
Yeah.
they don't really have a lot of networking and at-home help, aftercare kind of stuff,
Yeah.
which is super important. So thank you so much for
No, that's
creating
all right.
this space, as well as Heartfelt and Bears of Hope and
Oh,
places like that
yeah,
that
they're
do
all-
have
yeah.
them links and resources and, you know, professionals to be able to help.
Oh,
grieving
there's lots
parents.
of them. Yeah, it's great, and
Thank
it's been good to find everything after.
Yeah,
fact,
absolutely. At the time,
but
it would be
it would-
nice.
Yeah, at the
But
time,
I think
would have been
hindsight's a
nice.
beautiful thing, and I
Yeah.
think that we can all, you know, we learn our lessons are all a learning journey.
Yeah, that's
You know,
exactly
and
right.
so's our life and our loss.
Yeah.
And you know, from you coming from a space where you needed help the most, now you're helping someone.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
good on you.
that's it. Yeah, and I love what I do. I really do. And because I didn't have, like I said, my husband
family
left. Then I had my mum and dad come down with Dawn just after I had got Dawn.
Yeah.
And they had we've got photos from Heartfelt, which are beautiful. Every
Yeah.
photo I've got, I treasure with everything.
Can you explain Heartfelt, what that is for?
So it's an actual organisation that work on, so they're just people that go out and take photos at the hospital, so full voluntary. They'll go out and take photos at the hospitals.
Moments.
Yeah. Precious moments from, obviously, from about 15 weeks when it's more noticeable that it's a baby as such. They'll take photos, and they do take photos of children as well that pass away from accidents and stuff like that. So it goes the whole way up into, because they deal with the whole children and everything like that.
Absolutely.
So they do a lot of awesome work, and like I said, it's a voluntary thing for them to do.
Yeah.
And it'd be a very hard thing to do, to
absolutely. I couldn't
sit there
imagine.
and, be there while families going through that. So obviously we did, like I did the bath and all that sort of stuff, got the photos, sung her a song, read her a book. Then my parents left. I had a little bit more time with her. But then because she was born so little, I didn't want to see her go to, because they can change really quickly.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to do that. And I was begging them. I begged them to take her. And they're like, no, just have her for a bit longer. I'm like, no, I need to remember her.
I guess they're trying to do what, give you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
they
right.
probably, I think unless you've probably been in that situation, it might be hard for them to really relate or understand what your emotions are in that situation, because of course it's different for everyone. Some people might not even want to spend that time with their child, which is completely okay also for anyone out there. Like, I think being a mother and having a child that's passed, that is a choice for the parents to make, and no one to judge or how long, or if you want to at all. I think everyone deals with grief differently and deals with the situation differently. So, everyone should definitely keep an open mind and do what's best for your family and you. You know, just take, especially in that situation, I think like doctors and that do their best to kind of encourage that closure, I guess, with a child that's passed, to give you that time, but also know that you have a choice. You have a choice whether you want to or not. So,
well, that's exactly right. Yeah, you need to have that choice, which is good. They give you that choice, and you ask them, and they will take them. And she did, and then I didn't want to stay in the hospital because obviously what happened, and then I signed myself out of the hospital. My dad picked me up, and then I went home, and then 2 days later it was my daughter Brianna's birthday, so I just went and did the mum thing.
Yeah, regular protocol, back to...
Had a birthday party, and everyone's like, what are you doing? And I'm like,
you're a mum.
I'm a mum. I've got to keep going. That's my choice.
We're like machines, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just got to keep soldiering on.
That's right, exactly. It didn't matter how much I felt and how much it hurt me. I had to keep going for the two.
How were you emotionally? How were you around them? kind of events, like your daughter's birthday, having to deal with this grief as well as trying to plan that and pretending that you're like all happy? Like, how are you emotionally? Like, do people check on you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I actually have a psychologist I speak to every week
Cool.
because obviously I've got other family trauma and stuff as well.
course, yeah.
So that's just to try and reload everything. And actually a hell of a lot of trauma, but that's life.
I feel you, girl.
Like, that is life.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
literally. But I do. I have people checking on me, and I've got
Great.
Sammy and all my friends.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously I've met awesome people on TikTok like you guys and stuff.
Definitely.
So it's been able to,
Okay.
and I like going through what I did. I believe that Dawn was here not for her to stay, but for her to show me that there was something that needed to be done.
And look where you are.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
right. Yeah.
I just want to say, like, I'm proud of you. Like, I appreciate you sharing your story so much. It's, I've been through a similar situation and it's not easy, especially having to talk about the situation, like going through it's enough, but having to relive it and, them emotions they bring up. But, like, I appreciate so much that you've shared that. And also I think it's beautiful what you've done with Dawn's memory. And did you want to explain a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, so after I had Dawn, I spent a little bit of time. We did a garden out the front for her and everything like that. Then she's got her little corner in the house where she's got her ashes. And
was that how you coped with her loss?
Yeah, so I just threw myself into, obviously, my children. I got the girls into more dancing, so that kept me more busier.
Keeping active.
I just did the garden. I joined, loss groups on Facebook and stuff like that, and could see when I left hospital, I left with a little box that only had like her footprints and handprints, and little bits and pieces. But the boxes, like, what I chose to do with her grief was to turn it into something that hurt. Yes, it did hurt me, but to try and turn it into something that's beautiful, that can help other families.
Change a horrible memory into more a memento. A beautiful
that's right,
memento, which
exactly,
I think is a beautiful, beautiful sentiment,
Yeah.
It's changing the way of thinking too, I think, because leaving with that box that's so grievous, like it's just crikey, like that's
all you've got.
That's all you've got, to turning that into something like that, into something that is like, that's beautiful, like the little items that not only could be memories for babies that have been here for a little while and then passed on, but also creating memories of that child that you may have lost too early, and having a kind of visualization of what could have been, but in a good way.
Yeah, that's
I guess.
Right,
What, like, I want to ask with your family, with the loss of your daughter, did you see like an effect on your children or your family or whatnot throughout the time?
Yeah, I did. So the kids took it hard, but I chose to try and do the right thing, so not let them meet her, because I didn't want them to have that on their head.
Yeah. Have you had a conversation with the kid? Like, did you have a chat to them about kind of maybe later on in their life when, you'd kind of come to terms with it and explain in a way what had happened and why you didn't?
Especially this year at the start of the year when my dad died, that's when all of the actual proper photos came out with her that I showed the kids, because I had to pull them out, obviously, for his funeral. There was some that wanted to be showed, and then at the end of the day, every birthday, Christmas or anything like that, she was always included. So all Santa photos, everything, but it was a drawing. Okay. So it wasn't a visual like that full on for the kids.
That's very sweet. I like that.
Yeah. So
that idea. I got a star registered after my daughter Dash.
Yeah.
Which is my way of dealing with it.
That's right,
it's like every time I go outside, I look at the sky and, just that little twinkle.
I've said that to my kids too, especially after dancing at night.
Yeah.
One of my daughter, Brianna, the one that was there that was old enough, she always used to go to me, Mum, look, she's up there. And we'd be driving and she'd be going, she's following me.
That's so cute. You know, I think, and that just goes to show like your spirit too.
Yeah.
You know, as a parent and what you've instilled in your children about grief and loss and that, which I think should be normalized and it should be spoken about. You know, and children are the most complex but smart little individuals, you know, and they're just like a sponge of knowledge. And, you know, if we start off young, teaching them that loss is normal, you know, and grief is normal, and like almost letting them know that it's okay. These things happen, but not to make that kind of situation seem like something really sad and depressing, but take it in a good way. So like they've gone from potentially being upset about losing a sibling to being excited because she's still coming on adventures with them.
Yeah, that's
you know,
right,
which I think is so endearing.
Yeah.
So good on you.
Yeah, no, the boxes are, like I said, they're set up. The way the boxes work are...
Did you want to... I'll grab that one. So for those that are watching this visually, I know we are a podcast, and some of you might be only listening through audio, but I'm just going to grab a little box that Candice did bring so that whilst we talk through it, if you are watching, you can also visualize it.
That's right, yeah.
So if you want to...
So this is basically a memory box. Obviously, I didn't know how old your little girl was, so I just bought a few things that I thought could help you out. So we've got some wax melts in here, obviously with her...
Which smell delicious.
Yeah, oh, they do, absolutely, which with their logo on it.
Look how cute that is, rainbow.
Yeah, rainbow. And then it got a little bit squished, but there is more in the bag. Then there's a bumper sticker.
I love that. That's so cute.
It obviously just promotes what we're all about.
Absolutely.
Then there's a tumbler. Now this is one of my favorite things that we've added into the boxes. Is you have these beautiful little tumblers.
Oh, wow.
So we have different ones. Obviously, people can pick different ones, but we've got butterflies.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. So obviously, Dawn, I associate everything with butterflies. So everything butterfly.
I love that. That is so cute.
Absolutely. So then I've got it, and it's got, obviously you've got a straw in here as well. But just don't put them in the dishwasher because they'll break.
Don't put them in the dishwasher, guys. Hand wash only.
But these ones are just scrunchy. So I've got your pink one.
No, thank you.
And a blue one.
No, thank you. Gorgeous.
And then we have a bit of a story behind this one. So this is to symbolise a little girl who passed away in September.
Yep.
Her name's Toddy.
Yeah.
Her mum's Leah, and she drowned in an accident. So she got away for 30 seconds, pushed up the chair up against
fence.
Not the fence, the spa, and she fell in the spa.
Far out.
And then her siblings found her. So,
oh my word!
And she's had a horrible. People just kept going after and after her about everything. So
that's horrible.
We bought everything yellow. So anything that's yellow, like we've got little yellow scrunchies, little headbands. We have sunflower stuff.
Beautiful.
That's all for her.
I love
and
that.
That's why we extended the boxes all the way up to the age of 2.
Oh, that is so kind of you as well. You know, to incorporate another mother's, you know, journey into your own.
Yeah.
You know, my heart goes out to you, Leah.
But yeah, no, she's a beautiful little girl. So yeah, it's like I said, there's a reasoning why we So yeah, put your keys on them. They're awesome.
Beautiful.
And you just put it around your wrist and you don't lose them.
Thank you. So now, if someone was after one of these boxes for someone they love, how would they go about that?
They can message me on TikTok.
Yep. So what's your TikTok?
It's Dawn's Butterfly Foundation.
Yep.
Yep.
And so Dawn's Butterfly Foundation, if you want to look that up on TikTok, guys. And just inbox you.
Yep. And we're on Instagram, and we're also on Facebook as well, all the same.
All the same names. So, guys, all your social media, Dawn's Butterfly Foundation.
Yep.
Make sure if you've got anyone that you think would like one of these little keepsake boxes, which they are actually so adorable and I think very precious, and it's something that's not spoken about enough, which is, miscarriages, infant loss, stillborn, young children, that have passed away, whether it be tragic or not. A lot of times mothers don't speak about it because a lot of the time we've found out that a lot of people do get hate for it. Often parents are targeted or made to feel like they were at fault, which I think in any circumstance, we should always have compassion. We should make sure that we are understanding and we have a bit of humility. It's already a bad enough situation for a parent to lose a child, especially by drowning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they need support. They don't need to be judged or criticized because we don't know someone's story. So make sure we think before we say something because you can't take your words back and you never know what someone's going through.
That's exactly right. Yep, exactly. But yeah, if anyone needs a box, they can contact me on that. We will be dropping the website maybe in the end of next week, the week after.
Awesome.
Which will have
hopefully by the time this goes out, we'll have that. So we will make sure that we add the link into the bio as well as other organisations and that we feel may be of help for you mums and dads and families out there that are suffering from stillborn, infant loss, miscarriage, young children's deaths.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Just everyone needs to know it's going to be okay. It might be a horrible situation. It is a horrible situation.
Yeah.
But there is people that care. There is support out there to help you through this grief. And we always like to remember, always remember. And as hard as it is, every pain that you feel is that love. You know?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for being on my first podcast.
No, that's all right. Thanks for having me.
I truly appreciate you sharing your story. I know it mustn't have been easy.
Definitely very nervous.
Yeah, don't worry. I was too.
Yeah.
But, I think you're doing a beautiful thing. And for all you other mums and dads and carers and grandparents and siblings and sisters and whatnot, just speak up. This is not a rare thing to lose a child.
No, the stats are actually very, very high on the website. Yep. We'll have all the stats on all that. Yep. We've got all the links for
perfect.
Bears of Hope.
Bears of Hope is a personal favourite of mine, which is an incredible, incredible foundation that helps and supports, parents, families in so many different ways. Kind of in England, so many different ways. And if you are suffering through that, I urge you to go on there and please just go have a look. And you might just find, that bit of closure that you are looking for. And just remember again, it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to grieve, and you grieve in your own time, in your own way.
Yeah.
Everyone grieves differently. So, there's no timeline on grief and loss. So
no, that's exactly
make sure
right.
You remember that.
There's definitely no timeline, and don't listen to anyone when they say you've got to get over it.
100%. There's no getting over a loss of a child.
You can't.
You might be able to deal with it a little bit better as time goes on, but there's no way to get over that.
No, that's right. Exactly right. You said it so perfectly. You learn to get on with it and just keep going. But it doesn't mean that you forget them. They're still...
We've got to keep soldiering on.
Exactly. Especially when you're parents and even when you're first parents.
Absolutely.
And you lose some, like a baby. I've had some very, very touching stories in the last week.
Yeah.
Sent some very touching boxes out because they are heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking.
There's no easy way to talk about it, is there? It's
no
horrible thing.
And it definitely needs to be spoken more because, as I said, the stats are very high on the children, infant loss and all that sort of stuff because I've done it. It'll be all on our website.
I love it. So again, that's Dawn's Butterfly Foundation, guys, on Instagram, TikTok and Facebook.
That is, yep.
I've really enjoyed this, I think.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, it's been good. Yeah.
Gone well.
Yeah.
And again, just thank you so much for sharing your story. To everyone listening and watching at home too, thank you so much for bearing with us and being here for our very first
That's it.
Beauty Beyond the Banter podcast. And thank you for your patience whilst I also learn more about podcasting and trying to help people with their journeys, regardless if they be good or bad, wherever I can help. We are always open to anyone's comments, suggestions, stories. If you do to www.beyondthebanter.org, you can put in a request for you can send an email, and if you've got a story that you think you could come on and talk about, that could help educate as well as support, guide, and let people know that no matter what you're going through, there's someone that is out there to listen and to talk to, and there is help. If you've asked and got knocked back like 10, 20 times, there's always that extra person that's there. So never, ever give up. It's okay not to be okay. It's not weak to speak. And remember, on your darkest days, it's a bad day, not a bad life. So thank you so much to everyone for listening and joining in. And I'm super excited for our episode number 2. Again, Candice, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Chris in the background clapping.
Thank you. We did it. We did well. We did well. Thank you.
Crikey.
Thank you for joining the podcast for Beyond the Banter. Before we get started, you need to know some important information. If you need support immediately, please reach out to one of the following organisations: Lifeline on 131114, Beyond Blue on 1300224636, or Men's Line Australia on 1300789978. If your life is in danger, please call 000 immediately.